What's up, class? We are on the second part of 3.7, so we're going to be looking at the diffusion of religion. Now, bear with me. There's a bit to cover, but we will also be doing some activities in class. So again, looking at how the interaction of people contributes to the spread of cultural practices. In this case, we're focusing on religion. So essentially, you need to be able to explain what factors led to the diffusion of universalizing and ethnic religions. These are two terms that we will be reviewing today. And for this essential learning, as you can see, there's quite a few things that you do need to make sure that you have mastered for the exam. So one thing is religions have distinct places of origin from which they diffused. So they have their hearth and then they diffuse outward. And the way that they diffused has been through different processes, right? Universalizing religions and ethnic religions are also two of the main topics that we'll be looking at. So we will be taking a look first at an overview of world religions. So a geographer's viewpoint on religion. So first we have spatial distribution of religion. So understanding where these hearths are for each one, how they diffused, and where they currently are, like where they are distributed is important to know. And then two, the impact on the cultural landscape, right? That's definitely one of the main elements of this entire unit, right? Cultural landscape. So being able to see how these religions have influenced architecture, symbols, what that means for pilgrimages and holy sites, and also burial practices. Sometimes that gets touched on as well. So continuing on, we have the big four religions. So 77% of the world's people typically identify as Christian, Islam, or Christian, Muslim, Hindu or Buddhist. So as you can see here, we have the breakdown with Christianity having the most adherents, but also we have quite a few people who are unaffiliated. So 1.2 billion people. Again, some of these stats can be a little bit difficult, especially with something as personal as religion and just the wide variety of the way that people practice. So we'll be looking at some of these elements of these religions. So y'all definitely have to know this. We have universalizing and ethnic religions. This will always come out on the exam. So first, universalizing, these are widely diffused from the hearth through expansion and relocation diffusion. They are not confined to one specific location anymore, right? They've really branched out. These are religions that are practiced around the world. A lot of times they are associated with missionaries to attempt to convert people to join. So some examples are Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Sikhism. So one way to kind of think of it is that these religions have like a universal appeal, that they believe that they're for everybody, no matter your age or where you're from or how you grew up or anything like that, right? These are universally appealing religions, and they do actively try to convert people. So that's one of the main elements of this. They purposefully diffuse this religion. Then we have ethnic religions. So these are different, right? They have much smaller diffusion and distribution from their hearth. These are restricted to relocation diffusion instances. And the element element of ethnic religions, these are tied to a specific location or a specific ethnic group. And they do not, this is another major element, they do not recruit new adherents. You are born into these religions, and it is rare to have anybody convert. So some examples would be Hinduism, Judaism, Shintoism, and some other traditional religions that are not widely practiced, so more localized religions. So universalizing, they believe everybody should be part of it, and they actively spread their religion, whereas ethnic, you are born into them, and they do not actively recruit. So for hearth and diffusion of religion, so we're going to touch first on universalizing religion. So first for Christianity, taking a look at the relocation, we're going to be specifically looking at contagious. And here in this image, we see some examples of the spread. Christianity is denoted here in red. So first, the hearth is in present-day Israel. So please keep that in mind. I think it's a common misconception to assume from Europe, but originally the hearth is in Israel, modern-day Israel. So we have, at the beginning, it was a small group of followers, and now we see this practiced all around the world, right? So first it diffused contagiously in the more localized area of the Mediterranean. Today we see missionaries traveling all around to spread this religion and try to get more adherents. So then in that case, it would also incorporate relocation diffusion. Another element is hierarchical, actually, for Christianity. So we saw this in a few different ways. So first, with Emperor Theodosius, I think I pronounced that correctly, he declared Christianity as the official religion of the Roman Empire. So again, coming from the top and then down, hierarchical. Also the Crusades. Here in the situation, we saw Christians fight Muslims in order to gain control of various areas, right? So during this time period, again, we see that hierarchical diffusion coming from the top down. And then we have the Spanish Inquisition. So this is when non-Christians were forced to convert, and if not, then or else, basically, including death. So yes, definitely from the top down, we have that hierarchical diffusion. And then kind of touching back on relocation again, contagious and hierarchical, imperialism and colonialism. So this absolutely helped to spread Christianity globally. And it was that full combination of missionary activity from people from Europe, from colonizers from Europe, that influenced rulers and those who were in positions of power in Africa and Southeast Asia to convert people, right? So here we see good example of that combination. All right, then we have Islam. So for contagious diffusion, first thing to know is the hearth would be Mecca and Medina. This is in modern day Saudi Arabia. So it began with Muhammad directly teaching people in that area and spreading Islam. So definitely contagious diffusion. Muhammad is a grandson of Abraham, the founder of Judaism. So that is what that religion believes. So also we had Muslim traders go throughout India and into Indonesia, again, contagious, right? So moving and spreading along that pathway. And Indonesia actually has the largest number of Muslims in the world. So a lot of people absolutely associate this religion with the Middle East, but it's Indonesia that has the most followers. So fun fact. And on this image, we see Islam in blue. So for hierarchical, again, from the top down, Muslim empires spread this throughout the area that they conquered, pictured here in this map. And again, using that military conquest, so orders from the top down. Over time, large cities converted to Islam, so then we saw that wider spreading, and then smaller cities until millions of people are now part of the Islamic faith. So another element of hierarchical diffusion for Islam are Islamic intellectuals in major cities that then influenced populations as well. So these intellectuals, these scholars, these academics were highly regarded, and people were definitely more susceptible to adopting that religion coming from them. So moving on to Buddhism, we have contagious diffusion. So the hearth is northern India / Nepal area, so more or less right over here. And began with Buddha, who traveled throughout the area and spread Buddhism. So that would be part of that contagious diffusion. He's referred to as the Enlightened One, and directly taught his followers, right? So contagious. Buddhist missionaries traveled through East and Southeast Asia to spread the philosophy of Buddha, both before and after Emperor Ashoka's reign, as well as through Buddhist traders, right? So here we see a few examples of contagious diffusion. For hierarchical, we also have Emperor Ashoka, who ruled a lot of that area. It was South Asia, not officially India yet. And coming from from him, again, top down, hierarchical, adopting this religion then allowed others to more easily be open to it. And then with relocation as well, here we have Hinduism. So Hirth, also India. The belief is the Ganges River is sacred, so that is something that does come up on the exam from time to time. I think you might hear Addie whining over here, sorry. Diffusion is contained mostly to South Asia, but there are absolutely Hindus all around the world. Their presence in these locations date all the way back to the initial relocation of followers from South Asia. Migration of Hindus from India can be seen in the former British colonies, Great Britain, and also the US. So here we see all these many instances of relocation diffusion. Then Judaism. This is an example of an ethnic religion. So of the main religions, this one is the one that it would be considered an ethnic religion. They are not actively seeking people to join their religion. So for relocation diffusion, so here we have the Hirth, which is generally the Israel, Lebanon region. Abraham was a prophet and founded the religion. That's one of the main tenets of this religion. Large numbers of Jews were forced out of Israel during the Roman Empire's reign and forced into South and East Europe. So again, that relocation element. They were forced to convert to Christianity and leave Christian kingdoms or be killed during the Crusades. So again, having that diffusion, right? Various elements and vehicles that are used to force cultural traits, right? In particular areas. So continuing on relocation, in the 19th century, Jews were persecuted in Russia and again forced to relocate. The Holocaust also caused widespread genocide as well as forced migration. And then after the Holocaust, we have the Jewish nation state of Israel being founded, which also resulted in continued relocation diffusion. So this is the current distribution of religion around the world. So here you can just pause it and take a look at it. This is a great visual, so that way you can kind of immediately see where we see what religions are dominant where. And that is it for religion. We'll continue this in class. And now you guys just have one more objective.